Suddenly, Brad Webb found himself bobbing up and down in the icy waters of the Newport, Rhode Island harbor. He had just been washed overboard off the deck of his America's Cup racing yacht. Horrified, he looked up to see the chase boat bearing down on him. The referees in the boat were focused on the race and didn't see him bobbing up and down in the water. They didn't realize they were about ready to run over him. The first thing he thought about was the props on that big boat and that they were about ready to chop off his legs. Here's how he describes it.
Just this wall of water came over the bow and I couldn't hold on. And I just got flushed. I got flushed straight over the side. And I kind of popped up as the boat was going by, and the boats were going super fast. And the boat was kind of bearing down on me dead straight. And I just thought, okay, I've got one shot here to go one way or the other. And as the boat just got to me, it just started to kind of veer off to my right. So I kind of rolled to my left and pulled my feet right up to me. And as the boat came along, as the boat kind of bore down on me, I put my feet up against the side as the boat kind of touched my feet. And as the boat touched my feet, I just pushed off as hard as I could, kind of down and away, and then pulled my feet right in because I knew the props were going to be coming through, right after the boat came through. I was waiting for the chop. I was waiting for the props to essentially slice my legs off. But it obviously missed and went right by me, and I kind of popped up and kind of turned, and I delivered a fair amount of colourful language to the people on the boat.
Brad said that on that day the wind was so strong and the waves so high it was like trying to sail your boat in a washing machine. What an adventure. Welcome to my audiobook, Mr. This is Going on Your Permanent Record. I'm Rick Gilbert. I'll be reading it to you as we hear more stories like Brad's, maybe not so life-threatening, but just as compelling. Suppose with me for a minute that there is no God, no heaven, no hell, no afterlife. Maybe this is it. According to author Vladimir Nabokov, quote, "The cradle rocks above an abyss, and common sense tells us that our existence is but a brief crack of light between two eternities of darkness." So maybe there is no meaning to life, but there certainly is meaning in life. This is it, so let's make the best of it. This audiobook is about people who are doing just that. Gloria Steinem gets meaning from her work. I once asked her, when she started Ms. Magazine and the feminist movement, did all the attacks and criticisms make her ever just want to throw in the towel? Here's what she told me. I'd like to talk for just a moment about the highs and lows, and let's start with the lows. I mean, describe some time where you were thinking, God, am I doing the right thing? Why am I doing, throw in the towel, I can't take the abuse anymore. What comes to mind when you think of it?
Well, you can't throw in the towel because the towel is you, and you can't stop thinking about, just the situations that present. So I never thought about throwing in the towel exactly.
In this audiobook, you'll hear stories of people who are not throwing in the towel. Ironworkers, musicians, CEOs, storytellers, therapists, artists, a retired dancer, entrepreneurs, politicians, bureaucrats, professors, writers, scientists, drag racers, physicians. The list goes on and on. These stories are about how we find purpose and meaning in our lives in what Nabokov calls, quote, our brief crack of light. I call these purpose-driven stories. The interviews were done in all manner of places, from the quiet of a studio to the chaos of a cocktail party to a noisy street corner. Let's dive right in. So what does the title mean? This is going on your permanent record. It goes all the way back to my unsuccessful life in school. I'm in the first grade, and I'm having trouble learning to read. Our teacher, named Miss Watts, is old and gray, and I'm sure she hated children. We're sitting around in a circle one day when Mrs. Hitler, as I called her, asked me to read a phrase that had the word beautiful in it. Now, I had never seen that word, and I couldn't pronounce it or sound it out. And so, she made fun of me to the rest of the class. Well, class, it looks like Ricky's going to be in the slow reading group. Without hesitation under my breath, I said, "You old bag." She heard it, and so off to the principal's office I went. And it was there that I heard for the first time, "Mister, you've gone too far this time. This is going on your permanent record." Well, that scared the hell out of me. What exactly is my permanent record? Since I wasn't doing well as a student, I found that one way to get attention was to be the class clown or the show-off, and this resulted in me hearing many more times about my permanent record problem. I soon noticed that the most interesting kids in the class were the ones who also sat in the back of the room with me and were constantly being warned about their permanent record. Remember, too, that this was an age when still I believed in Santa Claus. I didn't have much in the way of critical thinking. So it didn't occur to me that this permanent record stuff was really just a lot of bullshit designed to make me behave. Turns out a lot of the people that you'll meet in this audiobook were also threatened with permanent record. They were the most fun people in school, and I want you to meet them. Before we get into the meat of the book, though, I want to introduce you to Anne Sally. Several years ago, walking on the boardwalk in Santa Cruz, I met Anne as she was selling hats that she had knitted and crocheted. She was sitting on the sidewalk on a blanket, all nicely laid out with her hats arranged by color and sizes. She told me about her interest in Rasta and simple living. What a great story for my blog, I thought. I pulled out my iPhone and asked if I could interview her. She agreed, and off we went. I sent her a copy of the interview. A couple of years later, wandering on the boardwalk again, I saw her and interviewed her a second time. This time she went deeper and talked about her concern about ecology and only using threads of the highest quality.
There's different benefits to each type of yarn that I use, but I really like to use more and more natural yarn, and I also have used organic cotton yarn, which I think is a really good material, because even though regular cotton is a natural fiber and is not produced with petroleum like acrylic yarn, it's produced with a lot of pesticides that still come from petroleum and are damaging to the soils and water and our health. So I'm looking to get more organic cotton yarn, and I think wool is a good sustainable ecological yarn. And then a lot of my yarn I try to buy not brand new from the stores, and I never buy yarn at stores that I really don't believe in, like Walmart and stuff, but I get it from different stores, sometimes from smaller stores. It's just hard. The price of really fine quality yarn makes the price of the hat higher, which is less accessible to everyone. So I like to keep the price affordable. Yeah, I mean, it's my art, and I feel, strongly about the most I can do to minimize my impact and be sustainable and live simply, like the saying goes, so that others may simply live.
It's a nice quote. Say it again.
Live simply so that others may simply live.
I put the second interview up on my blog and sent her a copy of it. And then she sent me the nicest letter. "Wow, thank you, Rick. That was really cool. I appreciate your will to find the deeper reasons behind what we do in life. The video was a good reminder to me to stay committed to my values. I've been having great and beautiful experiences with people who I meet selling recently. The human interaction is really important to me. Hope to see you again soon. What I love about that interview is the total improv quality of it. I'm on the boardwalk. Here's this interesting person. With my iPhone, boom, we do an interview. This kind of street interview is a little bit like jazz. It's exciting because we see creativity as it happens, and we don't know where it's going to take us. I hope the stories in this book stir up memories for you. My goal is that this is a collaboration between you and me and the storytelling stars of the book. If something comes up that strikes a memory for you, pay attention. You might even write it down. A recent study found that people who write down their life stories improve their self-esteem. So how about that? This book is a 2-for-1. You get entertainment, I hope, and if you do some writing about your story, maybe boost your self-esteem. None of this book is fiction. It is not pretend. Every one of these stories is real life. The people you are going to meet are not actors, they're real people. That's what makes it so thrilling.